Are you tired of the limitations of Mosquito for your IoT projects? In this video, we will set up the EMQX MQTT broker on a Raspberry Pi, explore its dashboards, test it in action, and compare it head to head with Mosquito to decide which one is the ultimate MQTT broker for you. Let's get started. Hello and welcome to High Voltages. First, let's quickly recap. MQTT or Message Queuing Telemetry Transport is the backbone of IoT communication, known for its lightweight design and efficiency. Over the years, we have used the Mosquito MQTT brokers extensively. In fact, we have made videos showing how to install and configure Mosquito in different platforms such as Raspberry Pi, Android, and PC for real-time IoT applications. But as IoT network grows in complexity, many users are exploring alternatives. That's where EMQX comes in. EMQX is a powerful open source MQTT broker designed for scalability, high performance, and advanced features. It supports millions of connections, offer a user-friendly dashboard, and integrates seamlessly with modern IoT ecosystems. It's like Mosquito's big brother, capable of handling industrial scale workloads while still being open source. So let's dive in and set it up on our Raspberry Pi. First, you have to make sure that your Raspberry Pi is booted with operating system, and then you will have to access your Raspberry Pi. You can do that either by connecting to SSH or VNC server. So currently I'm using Windows. I can either use PuTTY or I can simply use the command prompt of Windows. So in the command prompt, we can simply type SSH, then username of your Raspberry Pi and @ and here you can either write the IP address of your Raspberry Pi or you can simply write the hostname of your Raspberry Pi. So I am going to write the hostname of my Raspberry Pi, which is raspberrypi.local. It will ask me for the password. I will enter the password. And here you are. And we have successfully SSH to our Raspberry Pi. So now we will install EMQX. So to do that, we will first update our Raspberry Pi by typing sudo apt update sudo apt upgrade, and then we will enter -y. It is to accept the prompts that comes along the way of installation. So now our Raspberry Pi has been updated and upgraded, and now we can install EMQX MQTT broker. To do that, we will open our browser and we will go to this URL emqx.com, and here we will go to download, and in the self-managed we can go to EMQX open source. We'll go on download, and here we will have to select our operating system. So you can see there are multiple options, but since we are using Raspberry Pi and Raspberry Pi uses Debian, so we will click on Debian, and here is the steps for downloading the EMQX MQTT broker. So the first thing that we have to do is we have to download the EMQX repository, which will download this install EMQX shell file, and so we will copy this, and in our SSH terminal we will paste this. We'll press enter, and now it has set up the repository, and now simply we can type sudo apt get install emqx, and it will start installing the emqx MQTT broker. And then simply we can run emqx by typing or by copying pasting this command sudo systemctl start emqx. I will paste it here. And now the EMQX open source MQTT broker should be running on our Raspberry Pi as a service. We can check the status of the service by typing sudo systemctl status EMQX. And you can see that the service is active and running, and it is already enabled. That means the broker will start on the boot. So now let's see how we can access the EMQX dashboard. As we have discussed in the introduction of this video that EMQX serves a dashboard and management portal over the web. It can be accessed by navigating to the host name and port number 18083 from a browser. So in case you don't know your host name, you can type ifconfig and you will get your IP address here. we can simply copy this, and in the browser we will paste this, and then we will enter the port number 18083, and you will see that the EMQX dashboard is opened. So now we have to log in. The default username is admin and the password is public. We'll click on login, and now it is asking us to change the password. If you want to change the password of your EMQX dashboard, you can do it here, or you can simply skip that. So now you can see the EMQX dashboard open, and here we have some stats. For example, when we will connect our MQTT clients, it will show all the connections here, all the topics and subscriptions here, and also you can see some operating system CPU load information, operating system memory information, and on the left side we have this menu where we can do different stuff. For example, if we go to clients, here we will be able to check all the clients that are connected to our MQTT broker, and here we can manage our subscriptions, and this is for retained messages. And if we go to access control, there is different options for authentication, authorization, or even you can ban clients. Then in the integration, there are different integration methods. For example, you can integrate using webhooks, rules, or connectors. Then in the management, you have the settings for your MQTT, which is like what is the maximum packet size and what is the maximum quality of service allowed. For example, if you would like to allow only quality of service 0, you can do it here simply. And there are some other settings that you can explore here, and here are some settings for the sessions, retainer, system topics that you can explore. And in the listeners, you can see that there are different ports defined for different purposes. For example, for TCP, we have port number 1883, or for SSL we have 8883. For WebSockets 8083. If you would like to add a listener, you can do it here. Or if you would like to change the port number, you can do it here. Furthermore, we have logging settings, which you can change it here. In the extensions, there are different options. For example, we have the extension for QoAP protocol, or we have the extension for MQTT sensor networks. And here we have the option to plug in. You can download the plugins and install them. So now that was a quick overview of the EMQX dashboard. So now let's enable password-based authentication for MQTT client. So before any client can connect to the newly deployed EMQX MQTT broker, an authenticator needs to be created. To do that from the dashboard, we will navigate to the authentication page. So we will go to authentication, and here we will click on create, and here we will select the password based, and then we will use the built-in database. ID type, we will set it to username, and we will leave all the other options to the default. But if you would like to explore, you can do that. So we'll click on create, and now we need to add users to the database. Otherwise, we will not be able to access the MQTT broker. So in the same page, under the actions, we will click on users, and here we will click on plus to create a new user. So here I will create a new user called high voltages, and we will need a password as well. So I will write the password, or you can make the user super user, but in this case we will simply save it. So this is how we have created one user, but if you would like, you can create more users by clicking plus here, and you can create another user, admin and password. So now you can see that we have created two users. Now let's try to connect to our MQTT broker by using the MQTT Explorer, which we have been using in our previous videos as well. So first, we already have the IP address of our Raspberry Pi, which is here, and I will open MQTT Explorer. And I have already created a connection for Raspberry Pi, and here I will add the IP address. This is the port number, and here we have created the username called high voltages, and the password was, so I will click on save, and I will click on connect. We have to remove this HTTP because we are using the MQTT extension here. So I'll click on save, and I'll click on connect, and you will see that we have already connected to our MQTT broker. So if I go to cluster overview, I will see one connection here, one live connection here. one topics here and one subscription here. So if I go to all connections, it says that we are connected by using username high voltages. So for example, if I disconnect and I use the other username admin, password was connect, we are already connected, and if I refresh this, it shows that now we are connected with the username admin. So that is pretty useful when you have a lot of clients, so you can look at the client ID, username, and when they were connected, and their IP address and other stuff as well. So that is really useful. So I'll go back to the MQTT Explorer. I will disconnect, and let's go back to our main user, and in the advanced we will subscribe to some topics. So we have subscribed to few topics, and I'll click on save and connect. So now if I go to cluster overview, so as we can see, there are 3 topics and 3 subscriptions. So if we go to subscriptions, you will see the topic names and the quality of service they are using. You can also read the messages or publish messages from the EMQX dashboard. To do that, you can go to diagnose and WebSocket client, and here you see all the host name port. Since we are connecting using the WebSocket, so the port number is 8083. Here we have to give the username, and password is this one, and we will connect, and then we can subscribe to the topic. So we have subscribed to this topic, and here we can publish to the topic as well. So for example, topic name was test topic. We can publish hello world, and you will see a message here. Or if you publish to this topic, so let's publish to this topic. Let's say if we will publish, we cannot use the hash, that is a wildcard. So I'll write publish, and you see the received message is here. So we can send message again. So the wildcard means if anything is here after this tag, it will also be subscribed to. So for example, if I change the topic name to this, we will still receive the message because we have subscribed using the wildcard hash. It means it doesn't matter what is next, just subscribe to anything that is starting with this. Let's go back to cluster overview, and now you see we have the 2 connections. One is the MQTT Explorer, and the another one is the WebSocket client, which we have subscribed here. And if we go to clients here, now you see we have 2 clients, and if I click on this one, you will see we get a lot of information about that client. So for example, how many messages it has published. So these are all very important information when you are handling a lot of clients. And if you go to subscription, you will find the information of subscription here as well. So now we can also look at the integration menu. For example, we have a webhook. So for example, you can create a webhook here as well. So if I click on create webhook, so we have to name the webhook. So we can say test, and it will be triggered whenever we receive a message or events, or we can set it both all messages and events. So here we have to give the URL, so we can find a webhook URL from here. So this is the site that provides you free webhook dot site. So we can this is our unique URL. I can copy this. You can get it from webhook dot site, and I will paste it here. And then I'll click on save. So if now anything happens, for example, if we receive any message or anything, we will get a webhook. So this is really useful when you need some kind of notification. So for example, if I publish, you see we get a webhook. So it says that from client MQTT Explorer, we got this hi again to EMQX. So webhooks are really useful for notifications. So if we go to rules, here we can modify our webhook. So for example, from here you can define the data inputs and action outputs. So for example, it will trigger the webhook whenever any of this will happen. So for example, we are connected using our WebSocket client, and let's say what happens when we disconnect when we disconnect our MQTT client. So we should get a webhook as well, webhook notification as well. So you see we get a webhook notification here. that client is disconnected. So it is really useful. I mean, you can monitor your clients. For example, if some client is disconnected, you can get a notification if you use these webhooks. And then we have the connector. So rules are, you can say, the inputs, and connector are, you can say, the output, and you can manage both of them in the webhook. Also, you can ban your clients here. So let's go back to monitoring, and now you can see that we have live connection one, all connection one, and then we can connect again, and again the connections are two. So what you can do is you can go in ban clients, and you can ban any client. So for example, create, you have to give the client ID here. So let's say I would like to ban this MQTT Explorer, so I can copy this. If I go here, I can create, I can either ban by client ID or username. So let's ban by client ID, and we can set a time as well. So for example, you can ban this for 7 days. So if I will create this, and now you can see that we are not connected. So if I connect, I'm not able to connect, and this ban will stay for 7 days. So now comes the big question: how does EMQX compare to Mosquito? So EMQX wins in scalability and features, making it ideal for large IoT networks. However, Mosquito is lightweight, simple, and perfect for small setups for or beginners. So you can choose EMQX for large-scale IoT networks, advanced analytics, or when you need a user-friendly dashboard. Or you can stick with Mosquito for small projects, resource constrained devices, or when simplicity is the key. So there you have it. EMQX offers a lot more for advanced users, but Mosquito still holds its ground for smaller projects. Which broker will you choose for your next IoT project? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more tech tutorials. See you in the next one.